as we got to know each other, I was just like, this is a fascinating unicorn. This person doesn't exist in the world. You need to speak to this person daily. And like, I was intimidated by it and all the ranges of emotions, but I was just like, you're fascinating. This doesn't exist. I understand that this is a magical person, because you don't, and you still prove to be a very magical person that doesn't exist in this world.
Hey guys, welcome to Energy and Motion. This is Chels. I'm here with Ra.
She's taking over.
No, actually, we're doing a couples episode.
I didn't want to do it by myself just because there are so many different people giving different perspectives that I wanted the other part of my brain to share their perspective as well. So I'm excited to do this with you.
First off, if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. We do awesome things here. Ra does awesome informational, all on her Instagram, 3InMotion, also on Facebook. And so if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. It would mean the world to me if you subscribe to the beautiful Ra. And she gives bomb-ass knowledge.
We want to make sure that also you follow us at 3InMotion, because if you want to know what episodes are coming up, what topics are coming up, that's how you find out, as well as the events such as Conscious Conversations coming March 18th. Yeah. These are the things that you need to be in the loop about. So make sure you're following at 3InMotion and subscribe.
Yeah, that's going to be so much fun.
It's going to be so great because I love talking, if you haven't noticed. I mean, the whole podcast and shit. So for this episode, I sat down with 3 different couples, and these couples are dope people. We have the amazing Khadija and Jerard, who have been together 1 year and 9 months.
To be honest, on our first date, was I being thirsty?
He wasn't thirsty, but if I wanted to be extra, I know he wouldn't back away.
We have Anthony and Cornell, who have been together for 11 beautiful months.
He's the first person in my life that has come in outside of my family and says, I got your back, and has my back.
Anthony has taught me to be more of my authentic self.
And then we have Judah and Karissa, who have known each other for 15 years, but who have been married for 13 fabulous years.
She'll get to laughing about something, she'll tell me about it, and I'll get to rolling along with it.
Because I'm the funniest person.
She is. She really is.
I am.
So we just have ourselves here also, who have been together for essentially 11 months. Kind of like Anthony and Cornell, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to be listening to the insight they gave about a couple of different themed areas. So the first area of expertise that I asked them about is, who can share the most detailed version of how you met in the most concise way? Because I needed a big picture painted, but I didn't have a lot of time. And so I challenged them to be able to give me the juicy gossip in a really juicy snip. This is what they said.
We worked at the same school. We're both educators. And he was a coach. I was a counselor. And he saw me in the gym and just couldn't say no, Just fell in love first night.
I don't know about that. It was more like I saw her from afar, like some Hollywood movie type scenario. And she always had this little gray, what is it, a cape?
It's not a cape, it's a cardigan.
A cardigan?
Yeah,
she always wore the gray cardigan. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I gotta see what she's about. And started just inching closer.
We live in the same apartment complex. We started talking about our interest in skating, and I invited him to the skating rink because he is a transplant from New York. He'd only lived here, 5 months?
Yes.
5 months when I met him.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, you were going to Southern.
I went to Southern. I went to another skating rink one time. He skates. He's a big skater. I skate. It's a difference between the two. Like, I skate, but he skates. So, that was kind of our common bond.
I came in relations with Karissa because her best friend wanted to get verification from her to make sure I was legit and worth being around.
Y'all ever do that? Send your homegirl to make sure your nigga ain't doing nothing? Yeah. That's cool.
But that's the thing. That's not what was actually even happening. So a little bit of backstory. Apparently, Judah was dating a woman, and Karissa was this woman's best friend at the time. Karissa and Judah just came into meeting because the woman who Judah was dating just kind of wanted to use Karissa to keep Judah occupied while other things were going on. But we'll let them tell their own story.
It was always this, okay, you're the best friend, so we'll always keep each other at arm's length. Time went on, and her best friend, I met somebody, got engaged, got married. I remember working at a restaurant and get a text message on the 19th of August.
How you remember that?
I remember these particular things of 2006. And she texts asking, "Hey, I'm thinking about dating you. What do you think?"
So I saw the meaning and the strategy behind the reason why she was doing some of the things she would do. Unbeknownst to him, she was dating several people at the time, like 3 or 4 at the time. She decides that, okay, I'm gonna dump everybody and marry a completely different person. What sparked me to send him that text message was I had the same dream for 3 nights in a row. And in that dream, we had the most perfect date ever. It was like I felt respected, I felt protected, I felt cared for in the date. And in the date, we didn't really do much, anything in particular. It was just the feeling that I had. So on that 4th day, I was like, okay, I keep having this dream. Let's just see what he says. So I sent him a text and I said, hey, I'm thinking about dating you. What do you think? And I was like, I'm gonna shoot my shot. I'm gonna throw it out there, and whatever he say, we just gonna go from there.
Do you think how people meet is very telling of what'll happen throughout the rest of the relationship? So like if one person initiates or the other person is a little slow to get started, do you think that that's ever like foreshadowing?
I don't know. I think how you meet is just a fun little start for something. I think the more awkward it is, the more fun you'll have in your relationship.
It leaves room. Awkwardness leaves room to grow.
Yeah, if you can still get past that awkward, I think you guys will be able to get past a lot of things.
Well, if we're talking about having just met, usually people say that in order to have a deep and true relationship, you need to be friends first. And so that was the next question that I asked the couples. I was like, well, how important was the friendship that you first acquired compared to what it evolved into? And how important is the friendship in your romantic relationship now?
I can honestly say that he's my best friend for sure, because there's never that awkward silence. I can talk to him about anything. Like, we understand each other when we need space. Like, so I feel like that makes a friendship. Like, you can be comfortable with that person. You can have fun with that person. You can talk to them about deep stuff. You can talk to them about immature stuff. Like, I can neck him in the middle of the store and he would just be
Neck
playful. Yeah, we would just be playful with each other instead of being like awkward. Like, oh, I don't know if I can play with you because you're not that type of friend. Like, we're overall really good friends. I feel it's gotten stronger since we've been together, especially living together.
True.
My God, you find out so much about someone.
Yeah.
When you live with them.
And plus, there's a lot of downtime. Yeah, there's a lot of downtime when living with somebody. So it's like random conversations just start out of nowhere. And I've got better at opening up to her about things that I wouldn't have in the past. So we just get better every day, every month.
He's a great travel buddy. He's a great drinking buddy. He'll get you
wasted,
fucked up.
Yes,
anytime we've had a party here, everybody was on the floor except for him. He was just like, shots? Anybody else?
I knew then, I was like, even if we don't go further as far as like, you know, relationship or anything like that, I was like, I just want him as a friend. Like, I can just see myself just hanging out with him, just kicking it with him on the regular. So I was like, regardless of wherever this goes, like, you're good people. So I guess I saw further than just right now. And in me seeing that, I knew that he was somebody that I was willing to invest in regardless of what you're going through, I know what you're going through. And even in the beginning, I was like, I want to walk with you in this, because regardless the dynamics of us being in an intimate relationship, I want to be your friend. And me being your friend is enough for me to walk with you.
We were friends first. We would go play pool together. Like we went to Waffle House at like 2 a.m. Like we was college students one day.
Yep.
I mean, we just really hung out, and it really wasn't even until I started having those dreams that I even entertained the thought of dating him. It was just like, this is my homeboy. We finna go kick it. But our friendship, he is, without a doubt, he is the best friend I've ever had. Like, I have never had someone in my life where I could be my most honest self and not be concerned that they're using me for something, and not be concerned that, okay, once I quit working at this job and I don't have these perks anymore, they're gonna walk away. Or once, my car break down, I can't take you where you want to go, they're gonna walk away. I've never had a relationship where it was completely, they want to be my friend because I am me. And that is absolutely the best. Like, even on my worst days when I cannot stand the sight of that man, and it happens, I can still say, if I have a bad day, we can put the argument aside and I can tell him that I had a really terrible day.
I mean, I think because we had such a strong friendship before we got together, like, and I had gotten pretty comfortable, because even though I wanted it to be more at first, the fact that it was kind of like against my will, but best for me, that we were really, really good friends first.
Yeah.
Like, each of those stories make sense to me, of how just being able to appreciate the person for who they are first, having to just put in the time of enjoying, not only not having awkward silences, but sometimes getting to the point where you are past those awkward silences. They're not even awkward. You're just enjoying spending time in silence together. Or even getting to the point where you're just hanging out, shooting pool. You're just spending time together, because it doesn't have to be lovey-dovey. It doesn't have to be romantic. It can just be enjoying company.
Yeah, you're like creating a little bubble with somebody, and it doesn't really matter what's going on. You're in Waffle House at 2 a.m. and you're having a great time.
Yeah. Now, that's easy for me to say after all of the growth and expansion that this relationship between you and I have caused me. But before, the difference between what you were interested in and what I was interested in was frustrating. Talking to other people, other relationships, about their similarities and their differences was really, really interesting to me. They ended up saying some open shit.
Compared to other relationships that I've been in, I've always been the outgoing one. I've always been the person that you can put in any situation, and I just get to know people and be talkative. But like with him, any situation we go to where there's like going out or I introduce him to friends, they instantly love him. And that was hard to do in other relationships because they would like kind of be more reserved, but he's very outgoing, which is similar to me. Yeah. And I think that helps us to have more fun and helps me to bring him into my circle.
She likes to plan. She really likes to plan, like when we go places or even just a simple trip to the grocery store, just running errands. And me, on the other hand, I'd be like, let's go here. Let's go here. But so
He's
keeps...
super impulsive.
Yeah, I am impulsive, but she's very...
orderly.
Straight line. She's...
I feel like I keep him on track, and I'm not the only one that said that. Like, his dad has said that. People, like, his dad's girlfriend has said that. I feel like I keep him in order, which is why we balance each other out. It's like the yin and yang. Like, I'm the person that is gonna have everything laid out, and he's just like, let's go. Wait, let's figure this out first.
Step
and then,
one.
Exactly. And then we have a great time. So I feel like because of our differences, we balance each other out really well.
Differences. Here's a difference.
Okay, what?
Every object in our home has a home for it. Okay? There's a backstory to this. So, for example, that spray over there, that's its home. It's supposed to be there.
And if it's not there, I'm going to be irritated.
For me, if I use it last, I'm not really remembering where it goes. I put it right there on the counter.
It's not his home.
And she just has to move it.
So I feel like that brings us together because he understands my craziness as far as organization. Yeah. And he keeps that in mind. Like, okay, this is going to bother her, so let me put it right there.
Just little stuff that we would have in common, but it was just, we fed off of each other. You know, the conversation was just, it was very natural and very organic. It was just, wherever I would leave off, he would just sort of pick up. And so it was like, he wasn't shy, you know what I'm saying? He was very friendly, but he wasn't a lot, because I can be a lot. And he can be modest, but we can be the opposite. When I'm quiet, he can be talkative. So we're very similar in a lot of ways, but in the ways that we're different, we complement each other.
I really can't think of something that we're not really compatible. I mean, like I said in the beginning, everything is just very easy. It really does. It flows very, very easy. Like,
we're kind to each other even when we have disagreements. So to this day, we've never had a fight. We've had disagreements.
Yes.
And we have differences of opinion, but like, we don't yell.
Yeah, we're not unkind to one another.
Yeah, we don't yell at each other. We don't scream at each other. We don't call it. And now I can call him a bitch, you know, in jest, like, bitch. But like, I don't call him out of his name. I don't curse at him. I don't treat him unfairly, because if this is someone that I care about and someone I love and I cherish, and someone who has done a lot for me, you know, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, he feeds into me, like he speaks life into me. You know what I mean? He's my safe haven in a lot of ways when I've had a stressful day. So if that person is that to me, then why would I or why should I treat them unkind?
The differences definitely in our upbringing has been a vital part of us being able to communicate. Because the way I grew up wanting to communicate with my significant other and the way she grew up, because she came from a single mother household, whereas I came from a mother and a father. And our mom and dad didn't have a problem arguing and fussing in front of us. And so going into our relationship, I came into the mindset of that's normal, that's expected. It was just her and her mom growing up, so she couldn't balk back at her mom or clap back at her mom the same way.
Lose out my front.
Mm-hmm. And so understanding that, it was, well, why don't you want to yell back at me and argue anytime I get into a mindset of wanting to have an argument? And it took years to get to the understanding that you can't do that, because she did not come from the same household. And so that was an opportunity that, even though it initially was a divide, it was something that through the years will bring us together. And being able to understand her perspective of where she came from, and then recognizing and appreciating, even though where I came from was different, then realizing, okay, how can we together mold this into into a relationship just for us?
Exactly. I had to learn how to, because I came from a household where we really didn't talk about stuff. Like if something blew up, like, oh man, that happened, keep it pushing. Because, you know, growing up in a single parent household, my mom worked 70-hour weeks to support us. And by the time she gets home, there is not a lot of energy to really invest in, you know, how was your day? Did it feel good? Who you talked to today? There wasn't a lot of that type of communication. So I had to learn how to communicate in a way that he understood. Because I was not and I'm still not a person that likes to yell when I argue. With other people, yes. But in my home, in my sanctuary, we're not going to argue that way. And I'm not a person that likes to have angry sex. I made that very clear. I don't do angry sex because it might go too far, and now I'm in jail. Yeah. We don't want to cross that line, but I really had to learn, and especially growing up without a dad, I had to learn that everything that came out of his mouth, it wasn't a detriment to me. It wasn't an attack at me. It was him trying to get a point across, and that's the only way he knew how to express it. So I had to learn how to listen to what he was saying and not how he was saying it.
So I've never done any of those things, right, babe? Like putting things down where they shouldn't be left. I don't do any of that, right?
Why are you trying to be cute? Why are you trying to be this way?
Because we're on the internet, that's why.
And the truth is that she does all of those things. We do all of those things.
You don't do that.
And
no.
So for the record, I don't do anything annoying.
Oh, well, yeah, but not to normal people.
Yeah, okay, not to normal people. With what they're sharing about upbringing. similarities and differences between yelling being a way of communicating and yelling being a means of bullying someone, and realizing that that's just the difference in how, you know, your parents raised you versus how my parents raised me, and having, you know, being one who shares parents with that guy who's talking right there. I did come up with the idea that yelling meant we're communicating, and that at least if you're yelling, you care. And in a sense, we've grown up to realize maybe there's some codependency there. Maybe there's some habits and behaviors we need to reanalyze from our upbringing. But that's what coming into a relationship does. It points to the things that need fine-tuning that you thought were normal based off of your upbringing.
I didn't grow up with two parents. It was just my mom. And so as far as seeing a dynamic of parents going back and forth, I didn't see that. And my mom also worked a lot of hours. So it was more like a, hey, Mom, you know, glad you're home. The house is clean. You know, go ahead and lay down and have a good time. So,
yeah, I wish we could relate more to Anthony and Cornell, because they just seem so, like, similar. Now, definitely still different, definitely still individuals, but me and you have nothing in common.
Yeah.
And having spoken with the two of them, they have a lot in common, which makes it really kismet, very sweet that they found each other. And I think also in some way it makes, you know, me and you kind of kismet and sweet that even though we aren't compatible, we found each other. Messy, but fun.
Yeah.
Well, if we're going to talk about messy but fun and similarities and differences, that leads me to, of course, needing to talk about love languages. Mm-hmm. Needing to understand people wanting to receive and give love. And there's never any conflict in that, is there?
I'm used to somebody being all over me.
For hours?
Yes!
My
hours
gosh.
and hours. It feels good.
My goodness. I don't think I can do that.
Men never understand.
I got shit to do.
I feel like I give love by making sweet gestures and by touch, because I'm a touchy person. I like being hugged. I like being touched. So I feel like if I play with his ear or put my hand on his knee or like rub his back, then that's my way of showing, like, I love you, like, I care about you. Or, like, in the morning before he goes to work, just making sure that, like, I give him a kiss and a hug before he leaves. Like, little stuff like that.
Food.
Yeah. Or he'll just touch me.
Yeah. I like playing with a little curl sometimes. Or rubbing her thighs. So.
Men.
Yeah, but eat is the main one.
Yeah, his love language is food, for sure. Because when we go to Yard House or have...
Yard House,
Jake's Burgers,
Maggiano's,
just look at each other with loving eyes.
I was just used to having to be the one to give or provide most of the time. And so I think that because of trying to separate myself from other things that were going on, it created an opportunity for him, because he was giving and showing and proving, which made me very receptive and appreciative. Cornell's incredibly perceptive. He's very intuitive, and he's extremely intelligent. And in having conversations with him over time, it became more and more apparent. And like just his point of view sometimes would like throw me, because he would just say something. I'm like, how do you know that? And he's like, well, I pay attention. And
I've been in different situations and different relationships, and I was always undercover. We don't talk about it. We don't show signs of affection. But being with Anthony, and you know, I've been out for a long time, but for the first time, I really feel like I'm who I am supposed to be.
I think our relationship love language really is quality time.
Yeah.
Because what we'll get the best enjoyment in a day is just being still, watching a movie. And just taking the time to watch movie after movie, just being still, not being interrupted, and having kids in our lives, that's an opportunity worthwhile whenever it's available. Mm-hmm. So for us, as busy as we are, being able to be still and enjoy one another's presence without, an example for me is my mind will go wandering at other places to be able to actually focus on what I'm doing at the particular time and enjoying being with him.
And that's really been our love language since we started dating, actually.
Yeah.
And we didn't date for very long. But that really has been our love language for the entire time. It was, we enjoy each other's company. And enjoying each other's company, doing whatever it is. Like sometimes I'll be in the kitchen cooking and he's just sitting in there talking to me. And we're not doing anything spectacular, but we're spending time in that way.
And that has always been our love language, actually.
Yeah, what's your love language, baby?
Affection?
Yeah.
Is it touch? Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, mine is quality time.
Yeah, it is. It is quality time.
Yeah. I like time. I like being understood. I like talking. And that's the things that we do a lot of. And so I think that's what our commonality is.
And that's why she sticks around, folks. We give her what she wants.
Yeah.
Yes. Is it hard not having the same love language as me?
I think so, yeah.
Why is it hard?
Because I feel like I'm letting you down a lot. Because my asexuality is like in complete conjecture of your actual love language. Mm-hmm. So though I don't mind being affectionate, it's not my go-to thing. Me talking is me being affectionate. And so I think the fact that our love languages are not only different, but I have this other part of me that is, you know, way off here with the asexuality. I think, yeah, I just feel like I'm often either letting you down or that it's just harder for you in this than it is for me.
And I wouldn't disagree that it might in that way be harder, but I think the fact that you always are making an effort to understand, because I think that's what I crave. I can't speak for other people who might be in similar situations, but especially with us being in an open relationship and knowing that I have the freedom and we have the communication where if it's just a physical need that I'm seeking, I can go out and get that. But I have a need to be understood. And you are always striving to understand and to befriend me in whatever ways you can that are comfortable for you, that still allow you to be yourself and be true to who you are. And so I think that's how and why we've grown the way that we have, just because we're both willing to take each other's point of view into consideration and then to as much as comfortable to our own individual truth, blend that into a co-creation. Yeah, as to what we call a relationship now. But it definitely is a growing process. And growing is not always comfortable, and growing is not always fun. But fortunately for us, most of it has been pretty damn fun.
Yeah, no, I very much enjoyed it.
Yeah. And I got to ask the couples about their experience in growing together and what that meant for their individual growth as people, what that meant as for their relationship and how they grew together. And they gave some beautiful answers.
I just want us to be on the same page.
That's important.
In everything, because then I see a lot of couples now married that they see problems with their partner, and I'm just like,
and they don't do anything about it.
You didn't ask this, but while you guys were dating,
and they're getting like married or having kids, and they're still not on the same page when it comes to finances and stuff like that. So yeah, being on the same page too about kids, marriage, where we want to live, just everything is important. We really help to slow each other down and to focus, because I feel like when you're in a relationship, you have like, you can set goals. Like you can focus on your, like that's one less thing to worry about. Like I don't have to worry about who I'm gonna be in a relationship with or who I'm gonna bring home from the club. Like he's gonna be at the house. We're gonna have bottles at the house in the fridge, and we can just chill and focus on like our goals and bettering ourselves.
And a lot of successful people have said that. Steve Jobs.
Like being in a relationship helps to ground them. Yeah.
Being in a relationship, like just being with one person, it really keeps your focus to succeed in other areas. So that's why.
Mm-hmm. And it gives me something to like look forward to, because I want to work harder so I can be better for our future.
True.
Which I hope will be a long future. So.
It will.
We don't define ourselves by heteronormative behaviors or social norms as relates to courtship, whether that be hetero, homosexual, whatever. It's just whatever we deem appropriate for our relationship is fine as long as we're on the same page. Yes. Us being a team and establishing a friendship has been the bedrock of our relationship, so that we are a team. And what that means is that it's not about what's best for Cornell or what's best for Anthony, but what's best for the unit. And as long as whatever we're doing contributes to the unit and progresses the unit so that we move forward collectively, it doesn't matter who benefits more, because the other person is going to benefit automatically. If you fall short and I contribute to whatever it is, whether that be emotional support, whether that be financially, whatever that is, I'm contributing to the betterment of this group. So I'm not taking from me to give to you. I'm planting into us.
We both had our head on our shoulders. Going into our relationship, which I'll always recommend to anyone, is that if you know who you are and you understand the self-consciousness of that you being an individual and that you are complete in yourself, then connecting with someone, in my case connecting with Karissa and her connecting with me, it was then we'll add to what's already there. Instead of this mindset of, well, I gotta be with you in order for you to complete me. And for us, it was the thing that attracted to me with her was that she didn't need anybody to be completed. She knew that just off the cuff. And so through the years, it's amazing to see how we both have evolved and how we fulfilled each other. But then at the same time, realizing that the presence on the inside of us was always just what we needed, whether that person was there or not.
Our compatibility flows because we had the same goals. We knew we were going to take different approaches to it. And it's the fact that we respected one another. Because for me, I'm not like most women. For me, I value respect. If you can respect me, I know you can love me. So if you can honor me as I am right when I'm standing in front of you, I know you can love me as I am, and I don't have to pretend to be anybody else. So it was that self-respect and that mutual respect that, okay, this is the goal. We're going to get there some kind of way. The way we get there might take a little bit longer. It might take a detour here and there, but because I respect him and because he respects me, it makes it easier to go through those different approaches.
So after sitting down with each one of these pairs, it was interesting to hear how when there was talk of growth and teams and love languages, each couple had their own little specific love language. So me and you discussed it when I was telling you about what I had gathered, and we agreed that maybe this relationship's love language is communication. Me and you just love to talk. For Judah and Karissa, it was respect. Respect is their, unorthodox love language. And then for Khadija and Jerard, it was food. Grubbing, and I definitely think that needs to be added to and having fun and exploring together. And for Anthony and Cornell, it just seems to be just fluidity and not putting yourselves in a box. And especially, if nothing else, for Anthony and Cornell, it was music.
Yeah, and I think that's important to find the love language of the relationship as well as your individual love language, because I think that is important to kind of create a third leg. It's like me and you are a separate leg, and together we create a third entity. And that entity has its own love language and how it functions amongst the world.
I agree. And that is why we are Garnet, my love.
Yeah.
We are Garnet. We wanted to put together something a little sweet for you all. So this Take a Beat is for all the lovebirds out there, whether you are in a couple or a throuple, or if you are single and ready to mingle. This love is yours. You are deserving of it. And we just wanted to share it with you. So enjoy all of the affirmations and enjoy this day. It's yours.
I'm Claudia.
Hi, I'm Anjanae.
Our relationship is so spontaneous. I'm constantly learning new things about her, finding out new quirks and little fun things about this one. And it just makes our relationship so exciting. Every day we have so much fun together.
I learn from you every single day as well, and in every moment.
I'm Nikki.
And my name is Joshua. One thing that I really deeply love about my wife is that she really supports me. She's seen me at my best and at my worst, and no matter the circumstance, she's always stayed the same. Just always uplifted me and never doubted me, and always gave me a second chance to make things right.
I feel safe to just be myself, no matter how dramatic that may be. Just feels like home to me.
Donna Harvey.
And I'm Thomas Harvey. We have been married 26 years. What is it that I love most about Donna? There are a number of things. One, she has incredible wit. She's funny. She is so funny. Also, she is my biggest fan. She has my back. always.
There's so much to love about him. I truly married the person I was supposed to. So I'm going to pick one thing that I really love about him, and that's his total and unconditional love for our 2 daughters and me. I never doubt that love because he doesn't only do big things, he does little things. And sometimes it's the little things that matter even more.
Thank you for helping me host the show, babe.
I think I did so great.
I think you did so great.
We did great.
Yes, we did a great job.
You're a good teacher.
You know, we started this thing together, and I thank you for all of your support. And so, while giving out thank yous, thank you to each and every one of the couples, those of you who sent in videos, those of you who I got to sit down and have conversations face to face with, Judah, Karissa, Anthony, Cornell, Khadija, Jerard. Thank you all so much for your time and your energy. Thank you to my babe here with me for her support, and just thank you all for tuning in and for hopefully learning something. And if anything you heard tonight could bless someone you know, please make sure you share it. Thank you as always, Energy in Motion family, and you get to feel whatever you feel, and you will always deserve to heal. Peace.
Bye.